Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I think we can go ahead and get started then. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to SCORE, everyone. I'm super excited to be here and to share a little bit about CRM systems. I am a CRM queen. I love creating workflows that go along with CRM systems. And I also love the planning behind it. We're going to talk a little bit about like what are the things that you should be looking for in a CRM system. This is a two-parter. So this week we're going to be talking and just introducing you to what a CRM system is, what it does, what it doesn't do, or some of the things that maybe you should use a project management system for. I'll talk about some of those things. I'm going to also share some ways that you can integrate the CRM system in order to do what you need as well. And then we're going to do a scavenger hunt where I'll go online and show you a couple of things that I found yesterday as I was kind of preparing for today. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, just one thing to note, my name is Takisha Bromell. I am the CEO of GirlFriday Business Solutions. We are a virtual executive assistant business. So we do virtual executive assistant work for businesses and for nonprofits. We also do that type of work for solopreneurs, like real estate agents as well. And so I have a team of about 30 team members that work for me across the country and about three that are in Canada. And so, yeah, that's all the information about me and what I do. But I also love training. I also love training and teaching people about diversity, equity, inclusion. It could be anything from emotional intelligence to today, where we're talking about CRM systems, because that is like what I'm used to actually working in when I was a project manager back in the day. Okay, so what we're going to cover today is what are CRM systems, why use a CRM system, how do you know what you need, the pros and cons of CRM systems, and how do they work? Because that's important to know, like if you're going to be housing information, or if you are thinking about trying to house information about your client or a potential client, it's important to know kind of like all the things that go along with that. Okay, so what is a CRM system? I'm going to start with a poll here or with a question. How many people are using a CRM system right now? And is everybody still
Anyone
there? I
can
just
just
want
speak up.
to, okay, can you hear me? Are you saying you can't hear me?
I heard you.
Okay, perfect.
I'm
Okay.
using I'm using a CRM system.
Okay, great. Okay. And so, Robert, I can't see anything on that side of it, of the screen. So you're gonna have to tell me, did anybody raise any other people raise their hands to say
No,
that they're working with the CRM system now?
um, not right now. No one else has commented on it.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Well, a CRM system is a customer, or sometimes they say client relationship management system.
Um,
And it
uh,
really, can you hear
Takisha,
me?
Lori raised her hand.
Okay, perfect. Okay, good. So we have about two people that may be using a CRM system. And I would say that if you're not using a CRM system, you probably still are in but a manual one. And a manual one is usually our spreadsheets. It is our Excel spreadsheets. We usually keep contact information, telephone numbers, either in that or in our cell phones, right? Where we're able to keep up with people and be able to text people and sometimes email them and all the things that go along with that. That is, and has been for a long time, the way that we communicate with people is through our cell phones, and then also through sometimes we keep up with people in our spreadsheets. Now, this is similar where it's taken the spreadsheet and it's taken the phone and it's the phone here, and it's kind of like put it all together in a system that you're able to manage manage relationships better. You're able to remember and add a person's anniversary, their birthdays. You're able to also add information about where you met someone and also the last time you communicated with them. It is a holistic view of the things that you really can't keep in your phone and you can keep in your spreadsheet, but it doesn't allow you to then take it and then do something with it. You can only go but so far in a spreadsheet. It's not a spreadsheet is not going to send you a reminder to that the person's birthday is here. It's not going to send you a reminder to send out a text message. It's not going to do some things that you can do in order to actually work within a system that's going to work for you and then work for you while you're not there. You can create drip campaigns in there as well. So again, going back to the definition or what I consider to be what I thought Salesforce did, which was a great job of explaining what it is. It is a technology for managing all your companies or your relationships, your interactions with the customer, your potential customers. The goal is to simplify everything, to improve business relationships, to grow your business. A CRM system helps companies stay connected to customers. It does absolutely streamline processes. You don't have to be there to send out an email. The email goes out for you. So that's like automatic. And then I believe that it also improves profitability. And that was the like let your network actually grow your net worth is all about. It is about being able to do things faster and quicker and think about the things in advance to create like the processes that you need in order to communicate better on the client side of things, your customers, and then also your potential customers. Okay. So why use a CRM system? Basically everything that I just said, but it definitely is better customer service because people are not waiting on you to send a message to say, hey, thank you so much for buying my service. Like in your CRM system, you can absolutely add drip campaigns and emails that will go out to your clients or to your potential clients and say the things that you need to say, which could be thank you for purchasing this offer. It could be another email that solicits or tells them about additional things that they can buy and how they can connect with you. It absolutely improves customer retention because in customer loyalty as well. And because it allows you to kind of like stay connected, you're able to also put in like a feedback survey, and you get a survey back. It gives you detailed analytics. You're able to like look in there. Like if you ever use MailChimp, you're able to go into MailChimp and look at the analytics. If you've used any other type of systems before as well, it will allow you to see who clicked on it, how many times they clicked on it, the people that decided they didn't want to be a part of your email campaigns anymore. You're able to look at the analytics. You're able to see that this email worked. The last email that I sent didn't work. And that is a great too. Higher productivity and efficiency because you're not sitting at your desk trying to send out an email to 100 people individually. You're able to do that in batches. You're also able to, in your CRM, to personalize your CRM email so it automatically says dear whatever or however you want to greet that person. So productivity, efficiency, absolutely something to think about. There's also a centralized database of information. So example is that in there, you're able to break it down and manage your information. First name, last name. You can also have address information in your database. You can also have telephone number. You can, in addition to all of that, like common information, you can go a little bit deeper. We talked about your birthday or someone's birthday and wanting to send out a reminder and say happy birthday, your anniversary, a client's like wife's name, or a dog's name. It allows you to start to grow your knowledge base about that person. And the reason why I like that is because before you send out another email to this person, you can look at all of the things that that connected you to that person and the information that you have and continue the momentum of that relationship and not have to start over and try to and say, how do I know this person? Or where did I meet them at? Or all the things that happen when you don't have a system to put things in. You can, and then also manage communications. You could get to decide and to create plans and pockets of communication that you want to communicate to that person. So it's possible that that person is someone that was in a like in a society or something or a social event that you met them in. And you could put them in a tag group where when you're tagging them, anyone that you met in that group could start to get emails from that group. But then on top of that, you can also put them in another group, and it could be like, okay, they told me that they're interested in reading books or something like that. And you could put them in another group and they could be getting emails about that particular conversation as well, as far as books. So they can, it's possible to have people in 3 or 4, maybe 1 or 2, or 3 or 4 different groups based on how you grow the relationship and you get to know them. Okay. There's also automated sales reports that come out of the CRM system as well, all types of different reports that you can run. And then you can streamline your internal communications. You can streamline them, go ahead and create the campaign, and we'll talk about that in just in a little while, where you're able to actually take a campaign and internally streamline it so that the person gets a email from you. And let's say they get an email 2 weeks, or I wouldn't do 2 weeks. I would do a day or two after I've met someone. I would have an internal communication that would go to them to say, thank you for your time. And in the CRM, you can go in for that first email and personalize it to that person and say, I met you here. And this is, and I wanted to say thank you for your time, right? After that, from your CRM system, it's possible that the next communication that comes from you is maybe another email that shares more information about who you are, that you want to get into a meeting with them. And that could be a personal meeting, and you can set that up, through a Calendly. There are, in all the CRM systems out there, there are calendar type things that you can set up meetings and things like that. So that's a part of your integration. You can also from there take it a step further and send out a text message. And some CRMs will allow you to do that. And if not, you can integrate those things into a communication or I call it more of like a personal communication that you're communicating with them, but through an automation, which could be a drip campaign or something like that. So you can absolutely have 4 or 5 different ways of communicating with that person. And also, what I love about a CRM system is that it allows you to really time out the timing of that. Okay, the first time that I communicate with this person, I want to do it in 2 days. The next time I want to wait a week. The next time it could be I want to do a newsletter, and every time I create a newsletter, the newsletter goes out to them. That's once a month, and you can keep the conversations going, right? Before I go to the next slide, does anyone have any questions? Robert, let me know if anybody's raising their hands and if they have any questions.
Yeah, Takisha, Gloria has a question. How to
Mhm.
keep email from going to spam or promotions?
That is really hard because some CRM systems are better than others. And so I always say that if you want an email to not go into spam, there are a few things that you need to think about. First, you need to think about the size of the email, right? If you have an email and it's photo heavy and it gets really large, as far as size is concerned, that will be a problem. So you need to make sure that you're very, like, maybe it's more word heavy than picture heavy, because when you start sending out pictures, some people that are or some organizations and some people's emails, when they see a large email, they will automatically spam it. So that's one thing, is like check your size of your emails and make sure that they're smaller type emails rather than this big newsletter with all this information in it. It will probably go to someone's spam. Number two is, when I'm thinking about spam worthy stuff, is when you're sending out emails to like 50 people or 80 people or 100 people. I think that you should make your emails that go out small into a smaller group of people, probably no more than 20 people at a time. Now, I know that that's a headache. I know it is, but you're trying to get around the spam. And there's something that happens between your email that goes out and the receiver that's getting the email, that they can tell that it was sent from a big from a big email. They if that happens, that's another part of the process, is making sure that you're checking your size of your emails, and that you're also checking how many are going out at one time. Okay. Um, Let me see if I'm trying to think if there's another thing that I always look at. There are some emails, I have to be honest, or there's some people that I don't put into CRM systems, or I will do that knowing that they may not get it, but I specifically will send an email to them. So I think that the third thing that I would do is I would look at the emails that I know I want someone to receive. So there are like, I take my groups of people that I'm connected to, and I start putting them into, not classes, I hate using that word classes, but groups of like the people that are my raving fans that are going to send things over to other people. I start to kind of like split them up into groups. And I have like a number one group, and that's like my high level people that I know will send my emails to other people. They want to see what I'm doing. Those are people that I send individual emails to. I don't do it through I think you can still do it through CRM system, and it won't be a problem because you're sending it to one person and you're sending the information to them. But I usually send a direct email to the people that are in my one group, my top group of people that I know want to hear from me. And then I put them into groups of 2, 3, 4, maybe 4, someone that I really don't know. And then maybe 3 is something else. And so I kind of put them into groups. I tag them, and I will send an email personally, because I don't want it for the system to catch me sending out a large email, and then on top of that, sending out an email to someone that has a large batch group of people. I will send it to them myself. Does that make sense? And Gloria, did I answer your question? Any question?
There,
Any other questions?
just unmuted me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. One of the reasons I asked this is because I no longer am an elected official, but I was an elected official. And people signed up for my newsletter through MailChimp. And so I had about 1,200, but some would still go to spam, or more commonly, Google would put it under the column of promotions. And so the only way for them to get it off of that, because a lot of people like myself, when you get hundreds of promotions a day, I tend to just delete them. And so I knew that was probably happening for some people with my emails. So I was wondering, even though they signed up, it still might go to spam, or still might go to promotions. And so that's what I was trying to figure out. If they've signed up, they want my newsletter, why is it not going directly to them?
It's because of the size. And just remember that newsletters can get really large in size because it's really designed, right? So you have pictures in there and all the things, and that will, if the receiver's company or the receiver's email sees a really big email, they think that it is like trash, and they go ahead and they throw it in there. So one is the size, And then the other one is that if you're looking at it from like a different perspective, is that I guess it's more the size. I mean, the size, and also that you're sending it to 1,200 people. So when you're sending it to 1,200 people, the other system that is going to, the other email address that is going to can see, it's almost like they feel it, right? They see it and they feel it, and they'll automatically throw it in there. And so the only way so there's a couple of things that I would do. If you have 1,200 people in an email, I would absolutely over time send them a personal email over time. So 1,200, divide that by 12, send out 100 emails, or do something. But what you want to do is send smaller emails and see if it goes through. And then the other thing is to send personal emails as well throughout the year, sending something to them to connect the point as well. Because if you can send them emails and they start to open up your emails, the system out there will see that they've opened other emails from you, and sometimes they will let it go through because they can see that people are communicating with you in an email, or at least opening your emails, if that makes sense. Like, and you become a friendly emailer to that other person.
Yeah, I guess it does. I had just assumed that since it was coming from MailChimp that it would go through, but I realized there still was confusion.
No, and let me just say, there's Constant Contact out there. There's MailChimp. All of them have their own issues. You're not going to get, like, honestly, a couple of years ago, I had a list of people were the people that I was committed to sending emails out to that were not in my CRM system, because they were worth me connecting with them and paying one of my team members in order to send out emails to them. And I didn't want it to get caught in the CRM stratosphere out there, or in there. And then there were other people that I just wanted to just keep going and keep going. And it wasn't as big of a deal. What I did do was, though, the people that opened it, once you open this, once someone opens it, it's kind of like, and they don't, okay, once they open it and they don't delete you and say, I don't want to be a part of this email that's going out, and they haven't done that, the system parameters of the emails that go out when you send out another email to that person and they've opened it, maybe they opened it multiple times, but they didn't opt out, gets much better. Because again, the other email that's coming through, or the other email that you're sending it to, so to speak, is starting to understand that it's an okay email to receive.
Okay, so basically, if they open my email, their computer system recognizes that this is okay.
Exactly right. And then if they keep on opening it, then it starts to feel that there's a warmth there. I mean, enough to not push you into spam.
Okay.
But that's still at some point making sure that your size of your email is not really large, and that you're doing all the things that I just talked about.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
No, as I say, I'm no longer an elected official, but I am starting a business. It probably will never get to the size of my database as an elected official, because that was huge. But I did want to make sure that if I started sending things out, that they were actually received.
I would absolutely sit down, and if you know these people that's on these lists, go through it and pick the people first that you want to really build an intimate relationship with. Take those people and send them personal emails. You want nothing to stop your email from going to them. Everyone else, it's a risk, right? But once you go in and you start to get your data, your analytics, and you see that people have opened those, you can drill it down to who actually opened your email multiple times. And once you get that data, you can put them in a group and say, these are people that are opening my emails. Like they're, it's not going into spam. They're absolutely opening my emails. And I would take those and put them into call it a tag group. And those are people that you want to focus on them. So you have then now two groups. You have your big team, your big group, your number one group that you're wanting to communicate with is send them personal emails. And then that second group are people that you can send through the CRM system, because it's allowing your emails to go through, and you want to make sure that you stay in contact with them, and then keep going and adding different groups like your tag group 3, and then do that, so that you can start to make sure that at least the people that are opening, that you stay connected with them. Now, there are going to be some people in that list that are they're not is going into spam. And then I would take those strategically, and over time, over the year, maybe send them a personal email, like as you go. And then once they start to either communicate with you, open your emails and all of that, then you can put them back, go back to your CRM system and see if it'll allow you to kind of go through and start sending emails. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and apologize for my not knowing all the technology, but a CRM system is separate from using Constant Contact or
Well,
MailChimp,
okay.
right?
Okay, so some people like to MailChimp is technically a CRM system. And so some people house their contacts in there. They house their information. The only reason why I think that you probably need a more robust system is I don't think that MailChimp allows you to do text messages through there. Like you're putting an email in there, and that's it. I'm just giving you an example of one, and we'll talk about that next week, like different ones, but there's a HubSpot out there called HubSpot. HubSpot allows you to put an email in there, your telephone number in there, and all the stuff. And I think that HubSpot will allow you to text message in there. If not, there's an integration out there that will allow you to do that. So MailChimp is considered somewhat of a CRM system, but it really isn't that robust. It allows you to send out emails, newsletters, and that type of thing, and to keep up with first name, last name, and then also your email address. A real CRM system allows you to also add address, add telephone number, also add notes as you go to say, I met this person here, to break it into other types of groups and things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
And you're welcome.
HubSpot lets
Go ahead.
you can actually phone from the computer too, so I've used it that way.
Okay. Yes. So it's a way to, I mean, I guess MailChimp and Constant Contact is a way to kind of like keep people together and organized. It's just not a way to kind of continue that relationship and keep going. Now, I will say there is integration between MailChimp and like a HubSpot, which is like your traditional CRM system. Like you could send an email, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. You can send an email from MailChimp, and it integrate with like if someone responds to it and wants more information, or you have something in there where you're capturing information, that information can then go into a HubSpot or something like that, and give you name and email address if someone signs up for something in your MailChimp email. Okay. Any other questions about that? Okay, this is great conversation. There are no questions. I am introducing the CRM system to you. So there are no questions that are off limits as we go through the process of trying to figure out what the CRM system is. Okay. So no, like, please let us know if you have any other questions. Okay. Now, what are the benefits? It's kind of like what we already talked about, but I'm just going to go into it a little bit deeper. I love automation. I love that I don't have to actually be sitting down and have to remember to make a phone call to someone or remember to email someone, thank you, or do all of those things. It's automated. It's you can create your CRM system just as just with the automation that you need in order to not have to be sitting there doing the work every day. Okay. Although I'm going to tell you, and like I told you, a pro tip is that there are going to be some times when you want to handhold a person, and that automation may not be your strong suit in doing that because you want that person to get an experience, and you don't want it to go into spam, as we were talking about. So there's going to be times when I'm telling you to come out of the CRM world to do things yourself. But for the most part, the automation of it is great. And once you are established as that person as a customer, usually the CRM system won't continue to throw you into spam once that person becomes a customer. If that person buys something, the system knows that they've gotten something. You're starting to send emails to say thank you, and here's the information that you need. Once you start to do that, their email system starts to kind of like figure it out. Okay. You gain full visibility of sales team performance. And in a CRM system, it is very possible that if you have a sales team, that you're able to see how well the sales team is going. So it's not just that you're able to send out emails to everyone, which is great. The other part of that is being able to see performance versus what's going out to people. And you can see that also, it says sales team performance, but also social media performance. Sometimes there are some CRM systems that work with your social media. Provide personalization with ease. And you're able to put something in, there's like these brackets that you're able to put in there that will automatically pop up and actually say their name or first name or last name or however you want them to actually get it. You can collaborate across the entire company. If you're a company that's growing, you can collaborate with your other team members and things like that. You can filter qualified leads, dig deeper into report insights, like again, digging deeper into who's opening your emails, how often are they opening up your emails, if they're opening it up multiple times, like maybe taking those people and putting them into a group so that you can really communicate with those people a little bit different because they're opening your emails multiple times. You can centralize customer data, like I was saying, first name, last name, and it also has your email address, telephone number, your address. It allows you to also put notes in there and say, like, I just talked to this person, and also put reminders to call someone back later. It'll allow you to send text messages out. CRM systems, I mean, it may take a moment, but they are really good for you. They can help you a lot in putting systems into your process. The information is usually secure and private information, and that's what I love about it as well. And you can increase customer satisfaction because your customer is not waiting on you to send out an email. You're automated, so it's sending out emails to you. And then you can speed up support and sales communication. You're communicating all day to your customer, or should be communicating with your customer on a daily basis or a weekly basis, but you're having some communication, and it just allows you the freedom to do that faster because you're not, again, sitting at your desk and doing it. Any questions about this before we keep going? No questions are off limits here. Okay, we're going to keep on going. Okay. The disadvantages. Some CRM systems are expensive and can be expensive, or there's a fee to it. So if you're someone and you have like if you're wanting to do this, you definitely have to look at, okay, a spreadsheet is going to be, maybe it's the advantage for right now. But everything that you're housing in your spreadsheet can be uploaded into your CRM system at any time. So if you're wanting to just keep up with your an email address and a name, you can do that through MailChimp. No problem whatsoever. When you want to start sending out text messages and all of that, you probably need to go into another system. When you're wanting to update into a system that you can keep up with birthdays and all the things that go along with that customer, then you absolutely want to make sure that you're doing that. You want to make sure that you're doing your training and your security. I'm sorry, that the disadvantage is that clearly you have to get trained. There may be some security issues. One day a system may go down. It's always good to have multiple ways of keeping up with your information. There's nothing wrong with a spreadsheet. You should absolutely have them. I have my spreadsheets, but I also have like that information. So that information, like maybe once a quarter, you could download all your information into a spreadsheet and keep up with it. And then the next quarter, do it again so that you're making sure that you don't have any security issues, or that you don't lose anything. Okay, if a system goes down, like that could be even in social media, like your Facebook page, like you should not be communicating just by through Facebook, right? Okay, like you need to communicate with your customers in different ways and not just use Facebook. If Facebook went down for a day, and I think it's happened before, how would you communicate with your customer? Do you have a system available to do that? Does your customers know that you have things in a web, that you have things that if they needed to get in contact with you, they can contact you through your website? Can you send out an email to all of your customers today and say, okay, a system has gone down, things have happened, and I need to do that? That's the thing that you have to kind of keep up with, is that you need to have your data in multiple places. And I think if you were to back it up at least every quarter, you will be fine. It eliminates the human element. It does, but you can have great conversation and say things that you need to say in a way that doesn't make it feel like that person that you're getting a like an email that doesn't have any warmth to it. The same thing with AI. Okay, you can get, as a chat GPT, you can get the information that you need to send out an email. But you definitely need to still warm it up to make it sound like you and to make people feel like they're not just a number. And then
Takisha?
another disadvantage. Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, Gloria had a second question.
Yes, go ahead. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to step away I can hear you. I just need to get my charger for my phone to make sure that it doesn't go offline. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going and go ahead and ask the question.
Okay. Gloria's question is there a way to connect the CRM to our Gmail or Outlook contacts so that we only enter contact information once?
Yes, there are, yes, there are, how do I say this? Okay. There are integrations that you can include. And one of the things that I love about Google is that most of the CRM systems that are out there that are really legitimate systems have integrations with Google. So you can add some integrations from the Google platform to work along with your CRM system. So yes, like there's another system that I'm gonna introduce to you next week. It's called Asana. It's more of a project management system, but it does have some CRM capabilities, and that's like another one. Like most of the systems out there with larger companies are connected to integrations that can be added to the back office of the CRM system in order to help you. So, and Google is one of them. Any other questions? And Gloria, did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Let's keep going. So the thing that we have to kind of go with is like, how do we have to identify the problem. And so the problem for you could be a whole host of different things. So I want to just talk about like, okay, is your data, and this is for you to look at yourself, right? Is your data all over the place? Is it in your phone? Which usually, like now my phone, okay, so I am an Android to the end, okay, but my Android connects to my Google. So when I save a name or save contact information, I save it to my phone, but I also save it to my Google. So it's there. And I could run a report right now and all of my contacts that are in Google and be able to run a report. So that means that you're not as decentralized as you may think you are, but your data could be all over the place. So the question that I have for you to think about for yourself is your data all over the place? Is your data on your phone, plus it's somewhere else, and plus it's somewhere else, and so it is somewhere else? That's something that you need to, like, as you're thinking about your business, where you're going, how you're going to get there, like, what does your business look like today, and how it's going to look at the end of the year, going into 2025, like all the things, like what, like, is my data all over the place? And do I need a place to house all of my data? Okay. When you're identifying your problem with your data. Okay. Number 2 is, okay, when I get a new client, am I able to service that client? Are they able to get communication? Are they getting it on time, when they need it, how they need it? Or am I delivering poor customer communication, service, or support because they're getting delayed information from me? Do I need to streamline my communication? Do I need to already have some emails already set up for a client, a new client, that can be sent out automatically to them so that there's no delay, and I've already worked through the words that I want to use. I don't have to use different words every time because I'm slowing down to do that. Like, I need that automation. Let's say I've gone out on I call them scavenger hunts, but I'm going out there and I'm actually going to go out and network. Once I leave that place and I've met, let's say, 2 or 3 people or 4 or 5 people, and maybe they gave me their business cards, or maybe I scanned something and now I have their information. Where does it go from there? And let me just say, once you get past 24 hours and 48 hours of communication, people forget that they even met you, that they've communicated with you, that they talked to you. And so once you get past the 48 hours and you haven't communicated with them, your lead flow and your momentum to connect with that person goes down. So when you're identifying the problem and you're looking at your business and what you do, one of the things that you have to look at is, am I going out there spending all this time, spending my gas, getting out there, going to connect with someone just for it to fall through? Like my lead has to flow. An email should go out within 24 to 48 hours. After that email, maybe there's a text. After that text, maybe there's another email. Like, I am trying to remind them of, and maybe the first email is your direct email where you're sitting down and you're just adding some highlights of what y'all talked about. and then everything else is being sent out there. But if you're spending the time to network, and you come back home with cards or connections and it falls through the cracks, that's when you need to think about, do I need a CRM system? Because what is the point of going out there if you're not, if you're letting the leads fall to the ground? And by the time you communicate with them, they don't even remember who you are, right? Is it time for me to scale my operations? Now I'm growing as a company. I went from like being a one-person shop or a three-person shop. And then 2025, I find myself gonna grow I'm gonna grow, like I'm gonna double next year. Instead of having 5 team members, I'm gonna have 10 team members. I'm gonna have, instead of having 10 clients, I'm gonna have 20 clients or 30 or 40 clients, whatever that is. You absolutely, CRM should be scaling along with you, because that's where you're going to be so busy doing different things that automation should already be there. So you should be thinking about it even at 1 to 2 team members or even yourself, that I need to actually do more. And then no relationship momentum. When you go out and you, like I was just saying, when you go out and you're actually connecting or doing your networking, and you don't follow up or follow through, that there's no relationship momentum. When you are working with when you're working and you're working with clients and you're not sending them newsletters and you're not connecting with them and seeing how things are going, that is no relationship momentum. So for example, a real estate agent comes into your life, they help you buy a house or sell a house. And then it could be 5 years or 6 years before you're ready to buy another house. Is it important for that the real estate agent to stay connected to you? Absolutely, because the next house is just down the road. And how do you know that in a year's time, if something happened, maybe I'm moving my mother and father into the house, and now we don't have enough room, and it's time for me to buy a house. So things happen, things change, and as a business owner, you should be setting yourself up for success, and your communication has to scale along with you and actually be ahead of you so that you can stay connected to potential customers, and then also stay connected to your clients as well. You want to earn and continue that relationship. Any questions about this slide before we keep going? Richard, anything going on? Okay, we're going to keep going. Okay. Okay, so then we need to identify the solution. Like, so now that, since we know the problem, we need to identify the solution. And there are different types of CRM systems out there. Like if you are a team that has operational things going on, you want to like you may want to do marketing. You may have you may have a sales team. Then you want to have an operational type CRM system. There are different types of CRM systems. If you're working through like there's some systems that are like more like workflow type systems, and they're very analytical. You want to actually look at the analytics behind things. There are CRM systems that are better for that. And again, this is a 2-part training. This is just trying to give you some information, but not all information, because we're going to go over these type systems next week. And then there's a collaborative CRM system where me and my team were working together. I'm able to see what they're doing. They're able to see what I'm doing. And so and then there's also the part of trying to keep up with the interaction part of things as I'm connecting with people and understanding where I finished off with that client, and then also the relationship management side of it as well. So there are different types of systems based on what you really need in order to push your business, right? Okay. And so then how do you know what you need? You need to know what you're doing this, what you're creating this CRM system for. Is this marketing? I mean, am I trying to market through my CRM system and guide my social media and guide, I'm trying to think of other things like my social media and all of that into one place that then leads into my CRM system so I can get my leads into my CRM software? Am I wanting to go more on the sales route? I have 3 or 4 team members that are salespeople, and I'm trying to keep up with all the data, like our close rate. How many did we close? How many did we reach out to? Like all the things that have to do with sales goes there. You have services, you have lead management, where maybe your marketing side of things, you're now starting to get leads in and you're wanting to keep up with all the leads that you have. I think that lead management could connect to sales, and it could also connect to marketing because you could also get leads through your marketing that you put out there. Your calendar tasks, like keeping up with reminders, keeping up with the people that I'm connected to, and reminders to remind myself. Okay, here I go. Reminders to remind myself to actually reconnect with that person. I talked to them a month ago. It didn't really go anywhere. I need to revisit that in a month. Okay. Your contact management is what we've been talking about primarily, is keeping up with all of your contacts and people and separating them into groups and all of that. We're going to talk about integration in just a couple seconds, like the different systems that are out there that integrate to make things a whole lot easier. Is there a question? I feel like I hear something.
Someone needs to mute. There we go.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So there's the integration, and then there's the analytics and reporting. Okay, I feel like,
Yeah,
you
someone
tell
needs to mute if they've got a phone on the background.
Are you able to mute them?
I'm not, unfortunately, I can't do a mute all.
Okay, got it. Okay. We're gonna keep going. I don't hear anything now, so we'll keep going. Just make sure that you're on mute everyone. So we were talking about the integration of things and how that works, and I'll kind of go over 3 types of integrations that I think of. I thought about them yesterday and thought that I needed to add them to our deck. So I'll talk about that. Your analytics and reporting, like the numbers matter. Like you can send out an email to someone and no one opens it, and send out another email and everyone opens it. And then once they open it, or there's a great percentage of the people that open it, you need to start looking at why did they open it? Was that, Gloria, we were talking about size. Was that like the right size to get through to the emails, to get through other people's emails and their stuff that's going on? Was that or and then also did they open it because what you said meant something, or the title of what you said made them open it? So you're able to take the analytics and work through them and figure out how to be better at what you do in your CRM system and making sure that they work properly. Any questions about that before we keep going? Okay, we're going to keep going. So I'm gonna do a scavenger hunt, but I'm gonna do that in just a second. I think, oh yeah, let's do a scavenger hunt. So let me escape out of here. And I want to go to something that I found yesterday. So I went to and just typed in CRM systems, and one of the things that popped up was this top10.com. And so can you see that? I just want to make sure that everyone can see that.
Your screen's not showing now. If you're trying to share a screen.
Okay, so it's not sharing. So let me go out here. Okay. Okay. So can you see that screen?
Yeah.
Top10.com? Okay, perfect. Okay, so I went and just typed in CRM systems, and this popped up. It was like get closer than ever to getting your CRM system and what CRM system is going to work for you. Salesforce is a big, robust um, CRM system, but it's very expensive. I had never heard of Pipedrive, but every time that I go up, every time that I pull up something, Pipedrive is the number one that pops up in but I've never heard of it before. And so Pipedrive is there. I'm sure since we've been talking, I've talked about HubSpot. And usually a CRM system will allow you to have like a free time with them. It could be a month or something like that. And also some CRM systems will allow you to use them up to a certain point. So like MailChimp is free up until you get into like multiple different groups and things like that. And then there's a fee for MailChimp. The same thing goes with some of these systems and everything. There's Monday.com. And again, next week, we'll go deeper into these CRM systems and how they work and what's the advantage. What I liked about the top10.com is it gave you more information, why your business needs a CRM system, which is increasing sales. We kind of like talked about that. We talked about customer retention, also streamlining your sales funnels. So if you have sales funnels where you're doing marketing and all of that, it can streamline that. And I'm going to talk about that in just a couple of seconds when we go back to our deck. It also allows for easy online marketing tools. And then how to choose the right CRM system is a setup. It says setup time, ease of use. You need to look at your price. Like these are, I consider them to be like if you were looking at a CRM system to take and do like a like look at these and grade them based on what you need, what your needs are. And so ease of use, how easy is it? From this class, last time that we taught this, we got like one client from this class, and that client, we actually created the CRM system for them, and they are happily working in their CRM system now. So it is definitely possible. And then again, Pipedrive, I've never heard of it before, but it says it starts at $14.90, and there's a 14-day free trial. Also, and then it tells you the pros and cons. But you need to, and we'll get back to the other screen in just a minute, before you get here to the things that are out here. There's Salesforce and their information, and then HubSpot and their information. Before you get there, you need to really understand what your needs are. And when we get into next week, I would like for you to actually take some time and go through it and figure it out. Like what are the things that I'm going to need this for? So that as we're going through the pros and cons of each one of those, I'll give you a few of them to look at. You can then start to look and say, I think I want this. I don't think that I want that. Okay. Also, I did some research and I went to Forbes and it was talking about CRM integrations. Let me just land there because CRM integrations are the things that allow you to have a HubSpot and then also have connected to that other systems that work for you, like Google. Like you already in Google. And can you see I went to Forbes. Can you see this other screen where it says, what are CRM integrations? Can you see that? Okay,
Yep.
perfect. Robert, thank you. Okay. And so they are better ways in order to, okay, there are better ways in order to actually use the CRM system. And the CRM system, whoever built it, understands that they have one part of the puzzle and that Google has another part. And instead of creating another Google, let's just integrate with Google in order to be able to actually connect the dots and work better and work better for you. So you can integrate a CRM system with an e-commerce. So if you had a website and you had e-commerce on your website, your CRM and your website can work together. Okay, and I'm going to give you a couple examples. Your CRM system can work with your marketing. Your CRM system can work with your customer service and information that you send out. It can bring in information to you, and then it can also push information out as well. So let me get back to my actual thing here, and let's get back to presentation mode. And I want to show you a couple of those. And then this last part of it, can you see my presentation deck? Perfect, Robert, thank you. And so let's keep going. So let me give you an example of something that could actually happen. You have an event and you want that event to go off without a hitch, right? So you can begin with an email from an email campaign site like MailChimp. You could have your email sent out from MailChimp. And when a person clicks to purchase a ticket, they are redirected to another site for the purchase, such as an Eventbrite. Okay. Or an e-commerce website. And then after the purchase, all of the client information that you got from Eventbrite goes into a MailChimp. I'm sorry, not a MailChimp, into a HubSpot. And then that HubSpot could then create a drip campaign and send out emails to the person who signed up. Does that make sense? Event, I'm hosting an event. I want to send something from MailChimp. I want it to automatically go into and be redirected to an Eventbrite so they can purchase it or through your website. And then you can take that information and the information that you get from your website or your Eventbrite can then be put into a CRM system. And then you can initiate a drip campaign to keep it going. Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions about that? Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Okay, I can do a drip campaign. I want to initiate a series of emails and or text messages from my CRM system. So I want to send an email. It could be a newsletter. It could be reminders to myself. It could be reminders to that person or additional information about my business. I want to send that over to someone. So the recipient also has the option to opt out of the communication if they want to. And these emails can be integrated with MailChimp. So MailChimp could be the host emailer, the email that it's coming from. And then later, I can also send a text through a text service. So I can send out emails from the CRM system or through MailChimp and create a drip campaign that could be 3 or 4 different emails that go out through my CRM system. Any questions about that one? Okay, all right, let me keep going. Last one, your sales funnel. Okay, so now I want to create a sales funnel. My sales funnel, I can create a sales funnel promotion that starts in my social media. That's where it starts at. And you've always seen them like sponsored advertisements, right? So you can create a event, or it could be a promotion, it could be a book, it could be anything that you want it to be. You can create a social media sales funnel promotion. And when that person clicks on it, they can purchase it through a landing page. It could be a website, or it could be a landing page that comes off of your, what is that system? A MailChimp. Like MailChimp allows you to create landing pages as well. It can go to, so the person clicks on it, it goes to your website or your landing page. All the contact information is transferred into your CRM system, and your CRM system, it has a drip campaign behind it. So you could have more offerings. They could purchase a book. There could be a place to sign up for an event. but all of that information can flow from your CRM system, from a sales funnel to your CRM system, to an email, and then it can go from there. If you are a teacher and you have classes that are on Teachable or Thinkific, all those things can connect to your CRM system. Any questions about that? Those are 3 tangible ways: event planning, drip campaign, and sales funneling that you get to that, and those are just 3. There's all types of things out here and ways that you can integrate your systems so that they can work better and do what you need them to do. Okay, so that was it. I'm going to now stop for a moment and allow you to ask any questions that you want. I see. Okay.
Feel free to speak up. These are open times to ask questions while you have the chance.
I
Okay,
saw
thank you
someone
very
raise
much.
their hand. Ram Bam, do you want to come online, or do you want to type it in, or how did you want to respond?
I'm here.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Thanks for this presentation. You're really quite gifted at this. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just starting out, and a lot of this is really quite overwhelming for me. I don't have any business backing. This is my first business and business attempt. Let me see. What am I trying to ask you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Take your
in
time.
I'm
Go
in the
ahead.
Northwest. Yeah, I'll
Mhm.
try and hurry up. I'm in the Northwest right now, and I'll probably stay here in Oregon because of the no sales tax.
Mhm.
That could save us, gobs and gobs of money during our
Mhm.
startup phase. I really want to create a really, really good CRM system for my employees. I don't like calling them employees, I call them staffers. I think
Okay.
it's more polite and it shows more respect.
Okay.
I literally will be blowing people's minds and socks off with every aspect of the company. Yeah, we will be a great rainbow bridge uniting ethnicities and ages and temperaments and so forth and so on. A great source of unity, universal unity. So that's big. Giving our staffers a really class A what are the benefits from the company is very, very important. So when I get ready to use CRM, which I'm guesstimating maybe after 6 months after my first year of business. So what do I look for when I start looking for one of these CRMs? And I really want one that they can call, they can text, they can email 24/7. Thank you.
Okay. So I would start with you understanding what you really need it for. When you say they, what would they be communicating for? What would they be doing? Like, why would they need to be able to communicate with someone 24/7? Like, just all the things. Like, I would start right here with what, who, like the who, what, where, when, and how. Also understanding that you want a system that can grow with you. So, okay, I'm going to start in this little small capacity and I'm going to build my way into something larger, but I want my system to be able to do so much more. So for example,
Exactly.
So for example, I would like, okay, so if you're looking at it, okay, and let's say I said, like I said earlier, that the system MailChimp is a system that only has a reservoir of you only being able to actually do an email. And it only holds emails, telephone, I'm sorry, emails and your first name, last name, and all that kind of stuff. That just that information. Well, if you're sending emails and that's all you're doing, that's great. But if you're someone who you're thinking larger and you're thinking about that, I'm going to need telephone numbers and we're going to house telephone numbers and we're going to house like contact information and then how we communicate with people and all of that, you wouldn't choose a MailChimp, for example. So it's the first step is you knowing yourself and actually knowing where you're going and these are the things and the ways that I want to be able to communicate with people, keep up with people, and all of that. From there, once you get that going, then that helps you. Like, okay, so now do I need a system and do I need this or do I need a system that's more project management based? And what I mean by that is, okay, it's project management based to the point where we're keeping information, but we're also like, I want to be able to send my team a task and they complete the task, and then I want to know it's done. Well, if I want that level of support for my team, then I'm not looking at HubSpot. What I'm going to be looking at is like maybe Monday.com or Asana.com. So it's you understanding where you're going, and then in a year where you see yourself, and in 2 years where do you see yourself, and what kind of communication that you're having. For one person, a MailChimp is all that they need. They just want to send out emails to them, and that's it. For another person, it could be HubSpot. I want to be able to house information, text people, communicate with people, and go. Okay, fine. And for another person, I want to be able to I want it to also have a priority of project management, where I'm able to take that information and I want to also work with my team members in order to give them tasks and stuff like that and get things done. Okay, I'm looking at something totally different. So it's like knowing yourself and knowing where you're going so that you can figure out what's going to be um, the best one in the future. Now, does that mean that if you were to choose MailChimp today, that you couldn't change that later? Most systems will allow you to download your information and export your information, and then you can import it to something else. But what you could do is go ahead and start small and thinking about where I'm going and how I'm going to scale my business later. Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
In my beginning, I'll be CRM all by myself.
Yeah. And you'll just be
Uh,
keeping up. And let me say this, like when I first started, I was just trying to keep up with my contacts and all the things that I'm doing. And I know that if I'm out there doing a lot of like meeting people, getting to know people, that it was important for me to have a system that I could go back to and remember how did I meet that person? Like, what was my last communication with them? Why am I not keeping up with some of the information that I need to know? So a CRM system, even for a one person operation, is good because you can't remember everything.
exactly. One of the challenges I have to deal with is a learning disability, I suppose
Mhm.
is the easiest way to say it. And part of it is not being able to remember like normal
Yeah.
people.
Well,
So
I'm just saying normal people, I don't want to say normal people, but people have, all of us, not just people with learning disability, all of us have the possibility of not being able to remember and remember the last person we talked to and all the things, all the goodies that they've given us when we're having the conversation. Like they give us these really good information, and we should be able to take that information and remember it and actually create a a, a, a relationship or connection with them that keeps on going. So yeah, and so CRM systems can do that. The awesome thing is that not all of them are not all of them are expensive. They do give you free times to use them. And then also some of them are not that expensive to keep on having as you move forward. Okay.
Yes,
Anyone
I've
else?
heard.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'd just like to say I've heard a couple of good things about MailChimp. And one of the benefits that they have that some of the others don't have is a calendar aspect, a calendar function. And that's really, really invaluable with what I'm doing. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else have any questions? I didn't see the chat move up at all, so I think that the
There's
chat is
nothing in the
fine.
chat.
Okay. All right. So next week when we come back in, we will be talking about different types of CRM systems, what to look for. We'll dig a little bit deeper into this right here, what you need to know. But I would say if you're joining next week, you definitely want to make sure that you have some time, take some time to see the things that you're looking for and where you're going in the next 12 months to a year or so that you can track along with me as we go through some of these systems that are out there. Okay, I didn't see any other hands pop up. So then I think I saw a
There's, so there, Natisha has a question. Can you help us with the session date so we can register for it?
Oh yes, so it is it's actually next Tuesday at the same time. Now, what I don't have is, Robert, I don't have like the link for them to sign up. And I don't know if maybe we could ask um, the, for Lori or for Michelle to send out the link to the people that are in this meeting today and
I
let
can
them know
inquire on that. I think
yeah.
that or otherwise go to nashville.score.org and look for it and register that way.
And it is next Tuesday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, just as this one was. Okay. Lori raised her hand. Lori. Lori, any questions before we go? I see your hand raised. Or was that a mistake? Okay. I see that you've come off of mute, but I don't hear you saying anything. So let's see, there's something in the chat. Let's see.
Here we go.
Okay. So I started with HubSpot, but got overwhelmed by how much there is to learn. What resources do you recommend to get going with it? These days, what I love about HubSpot and also most of the systems out there that they have like learning communities. Like you can go onto HubSpot and they do blogs all the time about how to use them. There are people on YouTube that that are communicating about how to use HubSpot. So there are ways for you to learn how to use it and understand it better through those platforms. And then the other thing is so I don't know what size your business is. I don't know also what your funds look like, but you could hire a company like GirlFriday or someone to help you through the process, right? I mean, so it's according to what you have going on, but there are YouTube videos, and HubSpot is really good about having a lot of ways to connect to, or they have like they have tutorials and things like that to let you know what to do, or just hire a professional to do it. Anyone else? And Laura, did that answer your question? Okay. And any other questions before we go? I don't see anything in the chat, Robert.
I don't see
And I don't
anything
see,
either. The
But
only other thing I would comment is when I worked with HubSpot, I was also able to contact account reps from HubSpot that could offer a certain amount of advice.
exactly right. Yes.
They're more
Mhm.
interested in selling subscriptions than they are helping, but they
But
can
but
offer
every once in a while
advice.
they'll help you in a pinch, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I did see Gloria raise her hand. Gloria.
Yes. Do you need a CRM system like HubSpot and a MailChimp, or can everything be done through HubSpot or something like that?
Okay, so everything can be done through HubSpot, but if you're wanting to send out an email and let me just say this, it doesn't mean that HubSpot doesn't have like newsletter worthy things, but MailChimp is known for that, right? So it's just looking in there and figuring out what type of email campaigns and things like that that you can do through HubSpot. And can you live with that? Because you can absolutely send all your emails through HubSpot. You would only use MailChimp if you're wanting to, like MailChimp is known for their newsletter type emails and things like that. You want to do somewhat of a newsletter or something like that. You could do constant contact. You don't have to do MailChimp. There are systems out there that work along with HubSpot. If you're wanting to have a better looking type email or newsletter that goes out that has more design in it, you can use those platforms. So, but you could absolutely just use HubSpot, MailChimp, or um, MailChimp would be more of an enhancer than anything, and they do integrate together.
Okay.
Constant contact probably will make your emails look better. But you don't have to use constant contact. You can absolutely just use HubSpot for everything.
All right.
I will
Thank you.
throw in one thing that I learned the hard way. When I was working with HubSpot, I was trying to generate new business for an Atlanta firm, and I would get, say, 10,000 emails of potential prospects, but those were prospects the firm had never done any business with.
Mm.
HubSpot suspended my account because they said that their system is really designed to strengthen relationships with existing clients versus
Going out. Mhm.
trying to mass email, trying to get new clients.
Oh,
So
sure. Yes.
they will
They have
watch you on that particular aspect if you try to slam things out to the world.
They are, and most CRM systems are like that. They are trying to, even in MailChimp, they are trying to protect the end user from getting 1,000 emails a day. So, like making sure that maybe your first email is to people to say, I'm going to be sending you an email and let them opt in to something is going to be helpful rather than sending out mass emails to people because they will start to get you if you start to sending out mass emails to people that that have not opted into yours, and then also making sure that when you do that, that you have an opt-in and obviously an opt-out way for them to opt out of opt out of emails as well. Yeah. Any other questions, anyone? I don't see any other hands up. And Gloria, did I answer your question? Did me and Robert answer your question? I'm assuming we did. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna like 5, 4, 3. Like 5, 4. Okay. 1 minute. Oh, okay. Thank you. You're welcome, Sharon. Hopefully that helps. It looks like we are gonna go ahead and drop off. I will see you next week, and I'm sure some emails will go out with the next class, which again, the next class is next Tuesday at this time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Good deal.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.